Hi guys, I'm David with MediaUnlocked.net, and of course we're coming at you with another exciting review from Hollyland, the Mars 400S Pro. Now this is the upgraded version of the Mars 400S, and before that it was just the Mars 400. So this is the Mars 400S. We'll talk about that a little bit later, a little bit of comparison there. But the Mars 400S Pro is their newest and greatest prosumer wireless transmitter and receiver. It's pretty amazing, and it starts out at $650 is what the set's going to cost you, but it does some really cool, amazing things that we're going to talk about today. So let's dive right in. I'm not going to go too deep into the details because there's the big reason that we really love the Mars 400S Pro here at Media Unlocked is the streaming capabilities that you can get. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. So if you are looking for a super detailed video that has to do with all the functions and how everything works, you may want to look for a different video. But if you just want to learn some of the base amazing things, upgrades and amazing things that this can do and how we're using it here at Media Unlocked, you should definitely stick around and find out how this little setup right here works when it comes to streaming to Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. This is going to be great for all the videographers out there that are doing weddings or anything else that would consist of needing streaming. So let's talk a little bit about the Mars 400S Pro. So the first thing I really want to dive into is a little bit about the design. They did upgrade the design or change the design, however you want to look at it. For some of you, this may not be an upgrade. For others, this may be a massive upgrade. If you notice from the original setup, they actually made it to where before it used to kind of stand tall. Now it's a little bit more elongated. And for a lot of people, this is going to make it a lot easier when sliding it onto your device, as you can see here, versus if we bring it in here and we do this and we have it sitting straight up, this can kind of get in the way about how tall it is. So being able to just slide it in, and it just doesn't take up as much room. And I really like that about it. The other big thing, far as design is concerned, is the fans. Now the fans in this beautiful device was a little bit loud. And if you had this on your device and you happen to be capturing audio, let's say with the shotgun mic right into your Sony or Canon or Nikon camera, you might have picked up a little bit of that fan noise. Well, with the new 400S Pro, the fans are much quieter. The other really cool thing is that it can be powered via USB-C on the back. So say you don't want to have a battery and you want to use, let's say, a battery bank here. You can take the battery bank, you can grab yourself a USB-C cable and connect it directly into this device. Now, the really nice thing about that is on the back, the battery actually sits on top of the fan. So if you don't have a battery here, it's going to do an even better job of cooling itself down, which I really like. So, however, the fan does not get loud. The device stays cool with the battery on for prolonged use, which I really liked. Now let's talk about latency. For a lot of you, latency is a big thing. In the previous model, the 400S, the latency was, the 400 and the 400S actually, latency was about 0.1. Now they've gotten the latency down to 0.08. So it's not a massive jump, but the latency is even less than they actually had on the 400 and 400S. On top of that, the Cosmo line, that's their more expensive line, which I love to get my hands on one of those because I love to see what no latency looks like, but it's a lot more expensive. But in their Cosmo line, there is zero latency. They're a lot more expensive, as I mentioned, but it's more of a professional setup instead of a prosumer setup. For $650 though, you just cannot beat what these guys offer. So now let's talk a few details about the device itself. So, well, let's turn both of them on here. And we're just going to jump into the transmitter. So I'm not going to dive too deep into the settings. Like I said, there's a million videos already out there that explain the settings, but I'm going to dive into some of the important settings that you guys might need to know. So what you do is you can actually hold down this button right here and it will take you into your settings. So we'll just hold that down till we go into our settings here. And really the only important thing, now you do have fan speed, system settings, Wi-Fi password. So we're going to talk a little bit about why you're going to need a Wi-Fi password, because these things do some pretty cool things with your iPhone or tablets, iPad, so on and so forth. But if you actually click down to scene mode on the transmitter, you have an option for HD mode, balanced mode, speed mode, and then return here. So if you're looking for less latency, higher speed, lower quality, we would go on and pick the speed mode. If you're looking for a balance of high quality and no latency as far as the transmission, then you're probably going to be looking at the balance mode. I like it in the HD mode, as for streaming, there's already going to be a little bit of latency when it comes to that first, like the first 10 or 15 seconds before the streamer's always going, the viewers are always going to see about a 15 to 20 second dip from what's actually going. So when the streamer's actually live, what the viewer's actually seeing is about 20 seconds before that, or after that, I should say. So the latency is not really going to matter when it comes to streaming. And so that's what I'm really excited about. So that's really the only major thing that you guys need to know about the settings in here. Nothing's really changed, especially from previous models. Again, there's more detailed videos out there, ones that we've even done for like the Mars 400S, that we go over all the details and functions on it. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll throw it up here. You can hit the little box and go check out that video. And pretty much all the settings and everything are exactly the same. They haven't really updated the settings because they haven't needed to, because these devices work really, really well. So other things to mention, you do have USB-C. So USB-C, as I mentioned earlier, it can power the device, which is great if you don't want to use these big old NP70 batteries, 970 batteries by Sony, which I use these things a lot. They are fantastic. We've got a bunch of them here. What is it? The NP, 970, and they do a great job of powering these devices. Now, of course, you do have a monitor here, so we can run stuff straight into the monitor wirelessly from your beautiful Canon, Sony, Nikon, whatever kind of device you're using here. Let's talk a little bit about the app. The app is fantastic. We absolutely love it here at Media Unlocked. It's great if you have multiple people that need to be viewing what you are recording, right? So if there's multiple people that need to actually see that wireless signal, this app is what you really want. So we've got our iPad here. So connecting to the app is really simple. If you guys, I made a short little video showing how to connect via app. So if you guys want to see that video, we'll make that maybe a separate video here on Media Unlocked. It's like 2 minutes long, and it really just shows you how to connect everything together through the iPad. It's really, really simple. So the app is called, well, let me log in here. So what we'll do is we'll log in right in here. So the app is called Holly View. So just to let you know, it's not called Hollyland, it's Holly View. Go on and download that app.
The first thing you want to do is make sure you have the Holly View app. Just go grab it on the App Store for Android or Mac, or I should say iPhone. Anyways, if you notice here in the app, I don't have the option for the 400S Pro. Reason being is I have not updated the app recently. So I'm going to click down to me at the bottom right corner and then hit app version. And when I do that, it's going to prompt me to update the app. So I'm going to go on and hit update. It's going to take me over to the App Store and just click update. Now, once I have done that update, I'm going to go back into the app, and you're going to notice that the Mars 400S Pro is now available within the app to connect to. There we go. And as you can see, it is now available. But the next thing is I have to connect to the Wi-Fi that the transmitter and receiver put out. So I make sure that both of them are turned on. And once they're turned on, we're going to go to Wi-Fi, and then we're just going to wait for that option to pop up, which is the HLD. Now the password is 12345678. The password's also in the settings. You can see what the password is in the settings of the device, but again, it's 1 through 8. Really simple. So now that that's connected, we still got a few more steps we have to do to connect. We have to put the code after the underscore. So HLD underscore, and then what comes after that, which I believe is B008117. And I have to go back and forth a few times because while I was doing this, I kept forgetting what that code was. So we all make mistakes sometimes. So anyways, B0081, and then I was like, what is the last two numbers? And I was like, oh, 17. Okay. So back in, and now it will connect to the device. There are a few settings. If you notice here, I allow photo access, read and write, and I also allow while using app for location. So if you want to go in and mess with any of those settings, you can. It just pops those up and gives you the option. All right, back into the app here. We're going to hit connect, and there we go. Now we're getting a wireless signal from the transmitter through the receiver wirelessly into my iPad 6th generation. This is the back-end setup or behind-the-scenes setup of the actual video, so that you can see that it's actually working.
Hold this down and go into the settings. No, let's get it to go into the settings here. And then what we want to do, is we want to go down to Wi-Fi password, and then you can change that Wi-Fi password, or not change it, but you can see what the Wi-Fi password is right here. So again, if you need that Wi-Fi password, it's right in your settings. And that's how you get the Wi-Fi password here. Once you connect to this, which we're going to do right now, so let's set this up. We've got all the cords needed here. So one camera right here, and we need a transmitter. So we'll put one transmitter right here, put that on here. Now we're going to need a mini HDMI, a micro HDMI to HDMI. So we'll plug that in here. We'll run this here. Now what I usually do is I'll wrap the cord around the bottom of here. I don't want to wrap it too tight to mess up the cord and signal or to hurt anything, but I will wrap it there so that I don't have all this excess cord. So as you notice, we have a lot of extra cord over here. All right, and then all we need to do is turn, everything's turned on. These guys should be synced. Now, one thing I should mention is they automatically, the really cool thing about this, and let me just go out of here. We'll go back down to exit, is that they will automatically sync to the channel. So if you notice that this is a channel 6, it will automatically sync to channel 6. Or if you change it to channel 7, it will automatically sync, which makes it so much easier. The original 400, you had to make sure they were on the same channels. Now, with the 400S and the 400S Pro, it'll just automatically sync for you, which is great. All right, so once we have that, it is transmitting to here, but it says it has no video, so you know, maybe I should probably turn the camera on. That's going to help. So now I'm going to sit here and wait. We got 1080-60p here, 1080-60p here. Look at that. Now, I could plug that into my monitor right here, but we're not going to because we just want to get some signal. So I'm going to go into the app. We'll slide this over so you guys can see the app for a second. But there's the app. I'm just going to go on and hit connect. So we're going to connect, and it's letting me know that I need to connect to the Wi-Fi signal. So we'll go into Wi-Fi here. Again, so if you guys can see that here, we'll hit Wi-Fi. And then we'll wait for the options till we see the Wi-Fi option that we want, which is, well, is it coming up here? There it is, HLD. Now, what you may have to do is put in the number here, which is 008117, and you'll have to put that into the app to get it connect. So we're going to go back into the app here. And it is, let's see here, B008117, if I remember that correctly. And then it should connect to the app with no issues. And there we go. Now we have liftoff. And now you guys can actually see what's going on behind the scenes. So we've got a light there, we've got a camera there, we've got a close-up camera there, another light. Then we have some little other lights here, and so we're completely wireless, as you can see, and you guys are able to see anything and everything. If we need to focus, we can change the ISO so that it isn't overly exposed here, and you can see all those different changes, and they're all being shot right into the iPad here, which is fantastic. Now, the one thing that a lot of you probably stuck around to listen to me talk about is streaming, because I really, really, really love the idea of how the streaming works with this. So think about this, guys. You have a laptop. You probably need a hotspot, or if you've got Wi-Fi in the house, but think about this. This will send signal at a very fast pace to this bad boy right here, the receiver, transmitter to receiver. And then you can plug this in using like a Elgato HDS right into your laptop, and it's going to send signal straight into your Twitch, your Facebook, Instagram, whatever, however you have it set up. And then that is going to wirelessly stream right to the internet. So one thing that we thought about that we think is really, really cool, and we're going to make a second video, so again, that will be right over here. I'll launch both these videos at the same time, is I'm actually going to show you the streaming setup that we use. But you need a hotspot, you need a laptop, you need a capture card, you need these bad boys. So think about like you want to go stream somebody playing basketball, playing Frisbee disc golf. You want to go to some kind of child's function. Anything that you can think of, long as you have Wi-Fi, a laptop, a capture card, these beautiful Mars 400S Pros or 400S. I do like the Pros a little bit better because of the little bit faster latency, and it's just the newest technology that they put out for their prosumer line. You can stream that wirelessly. So that means I could technically go to a wedding, throw this on my gimbal, and I could be walking around the wedding capturing all this footage because you get a 400-foot line of sight, 400 foot, so you can go 400 feet away. So I can go anywhere in a church, especially if I have line of sight. And I can go anywhere in the church. The transmitter is going to be sending it to the receiver, and then it's going to be streaming it live online. You can even set up audio, so you have nice high quality audio coming from multiple people or one person. Again, all of this is going to be in a separate video where we're actually going to break down all the equipment I use. I'm going to have it all sitting on this table, and we're going to just go over all this amazing equipment that we use to get that off the ground. So, again, that's why we absolutely love these Mars 400S Pros, for the simple fact they are great for live streaming. They are great when we're on set doing some kind of video for a client, giving that client the option to grab their iPad, go on, download the app, connect to this bad boy, or I can use my personal iPad, give it to them, and they're able to see live what I'm actually doing, which is fantastic, especially for $650. So we are a big fan here of the 400S Pro made by Mars. They are the Mars 400S Pro made by Hollyland. Fantastic company. We'd love to get some of their higher end stuff tested out, see how well it works, but supposedly it's pretty amazing what the Cosmos systems can do. So that is my review on these. Now, if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, mediaunlocked101@gmail.com, of course, or just leave a little comment down below. I'll hit you back with an answer or an opinion, whatever. Because again, even though we did get these for free to test out, we've been big fans of Hollyland since the very first 400 when they came out with it, the Mars 400. And we've been using their systems now for a couple of years now, and we've been extremely happy. So even if they didn't send this to me, this eventually will be something that I would have picked up and purchased, because I would definitely be using the live streaming, especially due to the COVID-19 and everything else that's going on in 2020. It's going to give me a whole new way to make money while shooting a wedding, because in the future, if we go into where weddings have to constantly be smaller and smaller until we get the handle on this virus here in the US, then this is going to be one of the greatest ways to be able to send signal out and stream to the people that love these people that couldn't make it to the wedding, or it's not safe for them to be in a wedding. Well, guess what? Now they can see it wirelessly from their home, on their computer, TV, whatever. And this allows me to walk around during the actual ceremony, right? And actually get different angles and footage. So I can throw it on my gimbal and I can just walk around the church and get the shots that I need while this is sending. Now think about this. What if we had multiple capture cards, multiple versions of these, because we have still the 400S. We can run 2 cameras. And if we get a third set, we can run 3 cameras, so we could have 3 different angles of wireless streaming to give the option for the viewers to figure out what signal they want to watch or which one we decided that they need to watch. So we could jump between multiple cameras. So we could still be recording 4K footage for the edit, and we could be streaming 1080p 60 for the people that want to watch at home and stream. So that's why we're big fans of this. That's how we're going to incorporate these devices, how we've already incorporated these devices into our daily use. So we're huge fans. Check them out, guys. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Let's go.